project. It is important that this council must enforce consequence management on non-performance of the project, which affect the community that we represent. As this council, we must make efforts to provide professional, reliable, and environmental friendly service to our community. This means that together with the administration, our community must join hands to make our city to be at the heart of it all. In closing, I support the item and presented by the mayor as Lebowe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Machacha Misa. Councillor Ramatlama.
No, thank you very much, Speaker.
Kimotwa PR, what generalize? Ana constituency.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity to address this House. We also take this moment to greet residents of Mangaung, Len Tukakakaretso, Rehapuhapu, Yamahlono, La Selemo Sesecha. Before we delve into the Section 52 and 72 reports, we wish to acknowledge the commendable work ethic and vision exhibited by the Deputy Mayor, Melula Matiti, in the recent Section 80 Committee of IDP and performance discussions. If she can maintain this level of consistency, this city will undoubtedly thrive once again. For the first time in the history of this municipality, we have been offered a platform to engage the MMCs and their HODs to analyze these two reports. This initiative aimed to uncover the challenges faced by the political heads of directorates and their administrative teams. It was indeed an enlightening experience, Honorable Speaker. However, many may not receive this news well, as it implies that we will be required to verify the optimistic reports we often see on paper on the ground regularly. Through you, Chair, Mayor, as the EFF caucus, we scrutinize these reports and we have come to a sobering conclusion that if issues below are not addressed, you might as well resign today. 1, lack of proper monitoring. This is a significant contributor to excessive overtime. Please, Mayor, people are merely filling seats while others are left unmonitored. 2, inadequate maintenance. Our failure to properly manage our limited resources forces the municipality to outsource nearly every service. We must interrogate who stand to benefit if we always outsource services. 3, inadequate human resource. Reducing a directorate, Honorable Mayor, to a scheme sum set up with everyone acting in different roles will yield nothing of value. Young people of Mangaung are in need of jobs. Let's fill in positions. 4, Speaker, underspending of directorates. This continues to be a considerable challenge. Many are lacking the will to utilize their allocated ISPG and USDG funds. The solution is simple, Honorable Mayor. If we cannot spend the money meant to uplift the citizens of Mangaung, then there's only one option. People batame bahate kosini. 5, which is the last one, consequence management. The municipality received a forensic report regarding the misappropriation of taxpayers' money linked to the Hauwem project. Yet those responsible remain unpunished while they continue to recycle pleasing phrases rather than addressing the matter. 2, Excessive overtime is not a reflective of the true circumstances on the ground, Honorable Mayor. Ntate Nthatisi, I request your attention as a community. We cannot afford to be complacent. Now, for the sake of time, Speaker, we will address the KPIs of one or two directorates. Technical services, led by Councillor Vusi Sokaka and HOD Masobe, are performing adequately with their keypads reports aligning well with on-the-ground realities. However, Honorable Vusi, we must condemn the overspending in this directorate. Additionally, 100% reliance on outsourcing suggests we are missing an opportunity for local employment. It is imperative that we work towards 75% target on our first quarter and maybe 50% in the second quarter, as the young people in Mangaung are educated and eager to get sustainable jobs. Councillor Vos, let's ensure that we prioritize residents of Mangaung. Let's avoid the mistake that happened during festive season, where you missed an opportunity of going to holidays because we prioritize people from other provinces. So let's take that into consideration. Community services led by Councillor Ntabise Jonas and HOD Dr. Tinda. KPIs have shown disappointing progress, with a slight increase from 45% in the first quarter to 47%. This reflects stagnation, Councillor Ntabise, rather than movement, Oyampi. It is concerning to note that all managerial positions in your directorates are acting positions, which inevitably leads to creative but misleading compilation of reports. Why I'm saying that? We must highlight the lack of refuse in informal settlements, claiming that 97% of 53 is accurate is simply untrue. How can we justify I'm lost, eh? I've realized I'm lost. I spare you, Councillor Ntabise. Let me go to Councillor quickly to my favorite MMC, Councillor Ntombi, yes, you know. Let's go to Councillor Ntombi Nhlapo and HOD Chakani. You know, I'm the first one to praise them, Ukuti. They are very young and energetic. So I'm now criticizing them. HOD, it has, your directorate has declined when we check your KPIs from 60% to 39%. This is a regression. Is unsurprising though, given the serious issues surrounding Vista Park 1, Vista Park 2, as well as Botshabelo Industrial Park. We do understand why. The singular request we made as the EFF to prioritize informal settlements has been blatantly ignored, demonstrating a severe disregard for our constituency needs. Instead, our leaders prioritize the deceased by allocating 6.5 million to fence a graveyard that is closed by the name of South Park, while countless living individuals are lacking basic housing. Honorable Speaker, in closing, it will be difficult as the EFF to support this report, chairperson of the EFF, because Honorable Mayor decimally failed to deliver on the commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mongale.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Councillor Matai. I'm checking on the document here, and I've checked the document on page 3, where it is talking about the department's performance overview, where it says finance The previous performance was 52%, and then the following performance is 48%, which is a drop of 4%, which is not acceptable because if you remember last time we were told that the departments are unable to perform because there is a shortage of staff. Second, we were told that the HODs have not yet been appointed. They've been appointed, we're expecting an upward spiral of performance. We are not expecting excuses because the very reason why there was underperformance, there was a good excuse that was always given that we have not yet filled the senior management positions. You'll remember what I'm saying. You look at planning, economic and rural development and human settlement, their last performance was 60%. Now they have dropped to 39%, which is also unacceptable, given the fact that those departments have now appointed HODs. And then city performance overview on page 4, it says the performance out of 130, out of 139, they performed 130, which is 60%, but it indicates a decrease of 1%. Where we are, 1% seems like a small number. But when we look at the details of that 1%, you'll realize that it is a serious failure on the side of servicing our people, that we said that we are going to be saving them, and that we said we love them, and that we committed in terms of our respective manifestos, that we are going to serve them. Now, when you look at the second document, you look at the way it is dealing with also the performance there, you see that there are some improvements in certain departments. When you look at the department of, in the office of city manager, there is performance, and also the project management office, there is performance. There is an improvement. For example, in the city manager's office, they improved from 64% to 100%. The question is whether is it true that it's 100%? But on paper it says 100%. Now we can't argue with the paper unless we brought something different. Now project management office, it's a new office, but it's already performing at 67%, which is a good performance. Now technical service was performing at 55, now he has improved to 86%, which is an improvement. We say it's okay, we give you a thumbs up. But on the one of corporate service, from 47 to 46, it means something is not happening there in the corporate service. People have dropped the ball, and now they are no more performing to the expected standard. Remember, our excuse was shortage of staff on senior managers. Now they have been filled, we are expecting performance. When we look at finances, there is a challenge there from 57% in the last quarter to now, which is 48, it is a serious drop of about 9%, which is unacceptable. The same goes with community service and Centlec. Now, there are certain departments that can underperform. But when you see Centlec underperform, you must know there is a problem in Mangaung. Because we used to get Centlec as a model of performance for all other departments. When there is a drop there, it means something is not right, something is not going right with the institution, and something needs to be done to correct that wrong. And then the same goes with performance. On the next page, it shows that the overall performance of the city, it has improved from 58% to 65%. We say it's fine.
As you conclude.
Oh, yo, so quickly. Okay. As I conclude, I'll go to this page that I will need the speaker to help me on. I think here you need to help me because I need to be assisted on the performance, on the document that is written, item 4. The document that is written, section 72 report for period 1st July, and that goes of SDBIP 2024 to 2025. When you look at the page 15 of it, there is something that is not right with that page 15. At the beginning of that document, I don't know whether have you find it. Majoro ifumana ke. At the beginning of it, it shows that the project that were earmarked were not done. It says none, none, none. And then when you look at the last quarter, on the scoring part, per KPI, it start to give people twos. We don't know two for what, when it's none, when nothing was done. None, means there was no performance. Now, when you give someone two, you say partly achieved. It means you are saying, no, the person performed even though he did nothing. It's a new English. You did nothing but you performed. Maybe you are rewarded for coming to work on time, even though you did nothing. You must check it on page 15. It needs to be corrected, whether maybe it's a typo. All those marks should have gone to 1. Or if it's not a typo, someone must account whether was there someone who wanted to mislead the council or mislead the mayor with this report, because this thing is very serious and it needs to be corrected. I wanted to take you to the page for that particular purpose. I rest my case. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Councillor de Kock.
Our residents don't have water. Can anybody, through you, speaker, please, the city manager, mayor, HOD, please provide us with answers for our residents? They don't have water. Frail care centers, nurseries, schools don't have water. Please, can we get answers on that? On my speech. Thank you to the IDP committee for the opportunity we had to clarify certain matters with HODs before tabling this report. But the truth is, however, progress in almost all departments has been lacking, with the exception of Centlec, which have shown some visible results. However, even Centlec's progress is concerning. Why is it then that areas like Bloemdal Ferreira, Beinsvlei, Bloemspruit and Hilton Hamilton, where a great section of our businesses are, continue to experience lengthy power outages weekly and are plagued by vandalism and theft without a budget to address the matter? Only 45% of key service delivery targets were achieved, while 111% of the budget was spent. Technical services, the heart of service delivery for our residents, has only shown a 4% growth in performance. This is unacceptable, as it directly affects our rate-paying residents. Finance has regressed, as have planning, economic and rural development, and human settlements. And while the Office of the City Manager has achieved a 100% score, we are still waiting for answers on our Rule 38 questions, letters, and emails. The main causes of this lack of progress are clear: staff vacancies, budget restraints, aging infrastructure, inadequate maintenance budget, and lengthy supply chain processes. These are not new challenges, but they continue to hinder our progress. And at the heart of it all is the issue of staff shortages, largely due to an unfinalized microstructure. It's astounding that as we are heading into the 2026 elections, we are still not having a microstructure in place. Community services are suffering due to staff shortages, too few tools of trade, and a fuel contractor that cannot deliver on its promises. This raises serious questions about our procurement processes. Overtime is once again out of control. Landfill sites are unsafe, and a serious question mark hangs over our security services, which cost us millions monthly. We need to address the issue of water meters in technical services. which remain a significant problem. Then, 15 wastewater treatment works are not safeguarded or maintained. This metro is putting the health of our residents and the environment in danger. The Finance Department must take responsibility for the lack of revenue collection, which has been lacking for years. Our residents are suffering as a result. We need to find a way to make it easier for residents to pay their dues. 456 million in revenue lost due to accounts not prepared for service charges. Unacceptable. We cannot seriously make ourselves guilty of irregular, fruitless and wasteful, unauthorized expenditures to an amount of 2.54 million due to interest paid on outstanding creditors' accounts. Indigency registration is another area that requires urgent attention. Holriggery, holrig. Why must residents wait years to be approved on this register? We need to fast-track this process and ensure that it gets the effort it deserves. And we need to stop penalizing our residents over December for processes that are not in their control. Meter readings should be done every month of every year and billed accordingly. Residents cannot pay the higher tariff due to this department's lack of staff and resources. It's time for us to take a hard look at our service delivery and budget implementation plan and make some serious changes. Our residents deserve better, and it's our responsibility as councillors to ensure that they receive the services they pay for. Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to the
Point of order. Yes, Speaker.
Go ahead.
You know, Speaker, is very heartbroken to see how many times did I beg you all and your officers to give us straight-off tools. Now today, we have a lot of problems in our community, and we can't participate in this council today because this agenda hard copies came yesterday, late. That's how we can't even work on this. So, Speaker, just take note. You can, please protect me, Speaker. Please protect
All
me.
right, Councillor De Bruin,
Protect me,
please
Speaker.
sit down. Councillor Ramatlam.
Speaker, this is the problem of sending all stoppies to the council. This is the problem. These are the ramifications of having grandfathers in the council. We're wasting our time, and we're hungry.
Point of order, Speaker. Speaker, I want you must protect me. Let that man,
No, Councillor De
let
Bruin,
that man
there's a
withdraw
point-
what he
there's a-
said now. Because it's look, I'm married with his mother.
There's-
Please, just let him withdraw.
There's a point of order here, Councillor Snyman.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm not sure if it's a point of order, but I want you to ask Councillor De Bruin to put his hand up, draw an item, make a speech, and not do this, what he just did. Thank you.
Speaker, sorry. This look like Councillor's name. I don't understand what I said. How can I make and draw up and make a speech when I get these documents last night? So I'm asking you.
Okay,
And then we don't even have trade-off tools
Councillor
to prepare
Malepa.
ourselves for this council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, some of us, when I speak, we go back and report to our principals. It can't be that we come here and be subjected to this. This is not right at all. We have a way as councillors in this house. Unless I'm going to be told something else in next side. Can please, councillor, Akabe, Kuthiwani kaSuthu kana akabe semgceni, please. It can't be correct every time he does this. This is not right, Speaker. And like you kupile, haneki kala mona to say, please, nceda indlu yakho. Please, Speaker. It can't be.
Councillor Denner.
Speaker, we all got the documents last night, and every party is able to speak today and make speeches and got questions. So, to Councillor De Bruin, we do it during the night hours.
Thank you, Councillors. Councillor De Bruin, your point of order is dismissed. This brings us to the end of the debate. I'm going to allow the Executive Mayor to reply to questions raised just before we can conclude the matter.
No, thank you
Executive
very
Mayor.
much. Thank you very much, Speaker. The havoc was as a result of trade of tools. It was supposed to be the other way around. Tools of trade. But you could make sense of what the gentleman was saying, the councillor. So please, let's not make fun out of it. You know, EFF has already alluded to his age, which I don't know how does it come in. But let me, Speaker, let me indicate that you know what I love most is when political parties do not only come here and score points, but they go all out to interact with the office of the mayor and therefore the officials and tend to know the gist of what we are faced with. So I'm going to start with the Freedom Front Plus. I had an intense meeting with the Freedom Front. They visited my office. They requested to deal with the issue of water. We sat down, and after that, we felt they have what they called a speaker, an expert. So I had to call a government expert to interact with them. And after that meeting, we were all thrilled by the knowledge that was splashed before us and the understanding of what bedeviled the water in Mangaung in particular. And I think that explanation warranted that we should actually begin to confront our communities about the crisis the metro is facing, which, if I may summarize it, Speaker, it had little to do with the activities of the metro now, either or the activities of anybody except one natural condition that we are subjected to, the position that we find ourselves as a metro, and the resources that we have that must feed us with water, from the dams that we have to the sources of water that we must get. So the engineers went to town with that. Now, I'm a bit perplexed that after that intense discussion, the same party comes to the council and still howl and heckle around the issues of water. It really surprises me. It means that discussion was not done in good faith, Councillor Mungal. We sat down, we brought all the teams, the professionals themselves shook hands in understanding what the problem is. We finish, we come here, we now come and talk a different language again. The reality is the water crisis is a crisis that is there. But I went further, Speaker, to report to say, because of that problem, I went as far as reaching out to national with the understanding that the outstanding project that I was not even part of, which I'm now part of bringing water from Harib, must be financed so that we should have extra source to alleviate the problems that we are faced, and also interacting with the University of the Free State, because they've done a study that Councillor MMC Vos was talking about, where we can extract and get water from the ground. So those are some of the modalities that we are putting in place. So when we talk here, and the cameras are with us, and we are on Facebook, and then we give a feeder that might cause havoc in communities, it doesn't help. I think what we need to really come to terms with is that when it comes to issues of water in particular, we are disadvantaged as a metro. We don't have sources. We must have money. We must create more dams if we can. We must bring that pipe if we can. We are close to Lesotho. If we can, we must have money to bring water. But that money will come from heaven. It's not going to be possible. It's not there. It's just that we are in a very precarious condition. It is the place that we have chosen to live in that really create a problem that we are facing. I've alluded, Chairperson, I don't know what that mic is all about, because it's really messing up the mic that I'm dealing with here. We have alluded, Chairperson, to the fact that when I was answering Date Mongala, I was saying some of the water that we are utilizing, it may be non-revenue water, yes, because we can't account for it. But it is going to good use. At the end of the day, it is servicing even those communities that we are accountable to. The people in those shacks, the people in those squatter camps, they must also, water is life, they must have water. The communities of our area are growing on a daily basis. The patterns of how water was distributed in this town was also not in consideration of the existence of the majority. Velbedrag Dam was meant to service all the black townships. Musselsport was meant to service the white area that side. Every community is growing. Water is getting depleted. Now that one is a natural factor that we cannot avoid, coupled with our difficult past and historical factors that are there. There was never a plan in the past that meant to say we are planning futuristic so that water must be in galore. Only Kharib Dam was the only one that could speak to the crisis that we're facing. So I think once and for all, our communities must understand that the metro is doing the best it can to access the resources from national to provide that water. I don't know, is that point of order or a point of, I'll help you.
Is it a point of order with clarity?
Thank you for offering your help. Maybe I should help you. You see, you're new here. Through you, Honourable Speaker, we've been dealing with this water issue for the past 2 decades. We've been warning you and say, get your ducks in a row, we're going to run into trouble. And you just neglect it. So Speaker, don't come here and now trying to sell us that this is a new problem. It's not a new problem. You fluffed for 2 decades.
Councillor Lotrid, that's not a point of order.
No, I love these emotions.
I will pretend I did not hear you.
Yeah. I will also pretend I did not hear him, Speaker. I want to deal
Thank
with,
you, I think you did hear.
No, I want to deal with the issues that were raised by EFF. You know what? One observation that I must make, EFF, is that our speaker, our councillor, at the point when you were doing announcement, you were proudly quoting Nelson Mandela. I was proud of you. And proud in a sense that Mandela belongs to the ANC, and you were able to say, because you are lack of heroes and heroines, so you must revert to, the reality. So that was a good one. And for that, I appreciate. The second thing that I appreciate of you is that you are able to say, for the first time, you are actually throwing your hands in the air. For the first time, we are given the opportunity to interact with the processes, and we want to thank the Deputy Mayor. It's a good thing. But the fact that it's the first time, it actually gives us solace to say, at least we are unbundling things to let people to begin to know what they should do.
As you conclude, Executive
Yeah.
Mayor.
But what is your first type is not devoid from his historical background to say the problem of water has been there. The issues that we are dealing with in this council, like you said, I'm new. I found you fiddling with them. I found you fiddling with them. I'm merely creating an enabling environment so that you must add value. Now, when you stand up there and then hail, I wouldn't call them insult, wanting statement, I love it because at least I take that reasoner to say, at long last, I'm beginning to let councillors to address real issues. So for that, I appreciate what you said. I wouldn't, it's just that the speaker says, as I conclude, but I would have gone to town to deal with the issues that we have raised. But that being said, I'm happy that we shall then together in those committees and the processes that are introduced along the way, begin to interact with real issues and actually keep us to account. And we are prepared to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, this brings us to the end of the debate.
Speaker, point of order.
No, councillors, please, can I wrap up the discussion, please? I will allow you. There was a request, HOD Masuben, can you please follow up and provide an update on the state of water shortage in some parts of the CBD? I know that other areas there's been a consistent update. So if you can do that, there was a request here. If you can liaise with Tate Kondile. I'm not sure whether have you done that whilst we were still busy in a meeting, indicating a turnaround time within which that problem would have been fixed. But if you have not done that, please do so. Councillors, these items, we have exhausted discussion. The item is for both approval and noting. Now, I am going to ask you to vote on the item. May I now see hands of those in favor of the item? The item 3 and 4, the first part A says council approve the MFMA section, and then the next part says that council take note that the report will be published. So can I see hands of those who are in favor of the approval of the item? Thank you. Any abstentions? Those against? Thank you. The items will be carried as they are. Those in favor is 53, abstentions is 11. Those are against is 5. Can I now move to the next item? The next item.
Can I just, Speaker, I just want to acknowledge what the Freedom Front sent me. I think their cry is that currently, as we speak, there's water crisis in some other parts of the city. And maybe my direct answer would be, there is that part that we are trying to ration, as you're asking HOD Masubi, to try and make sure that our reservoir are equitably receiving water so that all parts of the metro must get water. But I think what I should ask the councillors to do, those that are heavenly, just pray so that there must be rain, if that would help,
No, that's noted. Item 5, 6, 7, and 9 is one item. I'm going to take this item, and immediately after that, the discussion will break for lunch. I've been very liberal with time because councillors tend to be off tangent and discuss things that are not related to the item. So that's why we are taking this long. But I will only take the discussion on this item, break for lunch for 30 minutes, and then come back and conclude the business of the day. Unless councillors say, let's conclude the business of the day, because the items combined, all in all, the remaining items are 6. It's item 5, 6, 7, and 9, that will be one item. And then item 8, it will be the second item. Item 10 will be the third item. Item 11 will be the fourth item. And then it will be the next item on reports from the speaker, which will be the fifth item. And the report under in-committee reports will be the 6th item. So in total, we have 6 items. I can take one item now, which is 4 combined items, 5, 6, 7, and 9, then we break for lunch and then we come back. If you are agreed, let me note the following speakers. Councillor Verveer and Councillor Kruger, Councillor Mungale and Councillor Dipale, you are all on the 4 combined items, 7, 9, 5, and 6. Thank you, in that order.
Honourable Speaker and all protocols observed. The Freedom Fund Plus is asking the following clarity-seeking questions about the monthly financial reports for October, November and December 2024. Capital expenditure. Why did the Department of Corporate Services only spend over 3 million rand of their approved budget of over 39 million rand, being only 8.12% by the end of December 2024? How can it be that none of the 1 million rand allocated to ICT security was spent by the end of December, while this is still one of the risk factors that need urgent attention? Why did the Department of Community Service only spend 14.7 million rand of their capital budget of 274 million rand by the end of December, being only 5.37% of the capital budget? Will the northern landfill sites ever be rehabilitated if only 3.8 million rands of the allocated budget of 38.5 million rand, being only 10.05%, was spent by the end of December, and none of the allocated 4.7 million rands was spent for the development of the new landfill site? Why did the Department of Planning only spend 15.5 million rand of its capital budget of 57 million rand, only 72.2% by the end of December? Why did the Department of Roads and Stormwater only spend 10.9 million rand of their capital budget of 108 million rand, being 10.09% by the end of December? Traffic intersections are of